Hello everyone and welcome back to the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. In the last episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Your Destinies, we have finished episode 3, Turnabout Academy. It turns out the Greek god, the statue that was Aristotle Means, was the one that committed the murder. He, interestingly, actually cracked in his forehead. He ended up having a Mohican, and it turns out his motive was because he was taking bribes for money. But then we moved on to episode 4, the Cosmic Turnabout. So let's begin the trial, let's begin this chapter, and let's begin. Episode 4. From what it seems, the penultimate main story. Turnabout. The chlorine bombing incident. A terrible attack launched by the will of a madman. It is working, it is indeed working. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution, of sorts. Ted Tenay was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. Somehow I can't help but think. That there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it. Episode 4. The Cosmic Turnabout. Space! Ugh. Ugh. I just landed on Earth without a parachute or anything. I died.
Please begin your final equipment check.
I hit the ground running.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
Hey man, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play.
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
Emergency! Emergency! Get out of there now!
For you to know that place, right there is where trauma happened.
What place? What, this place? Well, of course trauma happens here. Look at it! Like, that's not traumatic. I don't know what is. Ugh. He got stabbed. He did. He got stabbed. It may not look it. He got stabbed. Now, I don't know, but you know, I have my theories on how he died. I think he got hit over the head with a lead pipe. My friend over here thinks he got hit with the candlestick. And my friend also thinks it was also Mr. Plum in the kitchen. Time for another trial to begin. This one is different. Sorry to bother you, but... Oh, hello, Miss Woods. Are you alright?
I forgot.
No, this is the penultimate case in the main timeline, I guess. Because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5... and then the special case that was originally DLC. So this is the penultimate case. Which is interesting. So this is what taking place at around the same time as the bombing case from the first case. Does that make sense? No. I don't know what's happening. You alright, Apollo? Why are you making a scary face just now? Oh, hi, Juniper. Yeah, I'm fine. I was just doing my Cords of Steel exercises. Yes, yeah, this is the one right before the bombing. Or booming. Yes. Or something like that. It's happening around the time of the bombing. Yeah. I have no idea what's happening, but yeah. Now I'm all ready to go.
Yes, knowing you, I'm sure it'll be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden.
Is this a lotus root?
That's right, my grandma says lotus fruit is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. It's a good look. Maybe later you can cook it and...
Thanks for this. I'm gonna have some right now.
Oh my!
I ate it.
Tough though. You can't eat it raw, but... Thank you for your enthusiasm. Fuse to try.
She didn't think me weird before she will now. Oh, gotta calm down. Apollo, I'm sorry I'm late.
Hi, Vina.
So I'm confused. How far after the last case is this? Because she's no longer in her school uniform. So has she graduated at this point? Or is she just in regular everyday clothes outside of her school uniform because it's the weekend? Like, how long after the last cases does this take place? I need to know these things, goddammit.
Do you come to cheer Paul on?
Oh, I get it, you sly little thing, you.
Vina, stop!
I was gonna say, definitely after, but like, how long after? Actually, let's have a look. Judy! 18, I think it's turning to singer student. Oh, okay, so she's still in education. Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, fair enough. And this is gay. Clay Terran, the victim in this case. He was a Hat 2 crew member and a close friend of mine. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. So that's what they meant by the whole, our friendship was severed. Juicy is 16? I swear I read somewhere she was 18. I swear she was the same age as Juniper. No, maybe I'm wrong then. Oh, I don't know. We're playing as the man, the myth, the legend. That is Apollo with his cords of steel.
Oh, Apollo. When will you ever figure it out?
Figure out what? What is that? It's like a sigh? I'm gonna say that's a sigh. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Oh! He is no one for. Luckily, it's not Larry. It's not Larry, thank God. You are a torpedo, quite literally.
It's like Larry, but
I was gonna say he feels like this game's version of Larry. Oh no, he's gonna be this game's version of Larry, isn't he? Oh, I thought I was done with bots. Don't like that, but I like that, but not like that. Fine. This is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. This is our client, Mr. Mr. Solomon Sol Starbuck. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. The scene of the crime this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I went there almost a little too much. That's where he met Mr. Starbuck. We'd ask about space travel and he'd launch into story after story with so much passion. Well, back in those days, the man was 100% my hero. Are you sure you're okay with being my lawyer, Apollo? Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not allowed to commit murder. Thanks, but... I was supposed to be in space right about now. God, he's so depressed it almost seems like an act. The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock. I'll probably never get the chance to go into space again. Don't say that! Don't stop believing! Besides, you just have to go into space again. Yeah, I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in a cell. Clay Terran. I can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command. Yeah, he was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. I was gonna say, this episode is not sponsored by Starbucks. While I wish it was, it's just a massive goddamn coincidence. I was gonna say that, but I was like, do I, don't I? Make it a bit of a thing. Hang on a second, sorry. Just talking about rehearsals and all that. Yeah, no one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? God, I've never seen Mr. Starbuck so down.
I see he need coffee.
I was gonna say this. So in America / Britain, mostly America though, there's a TV show called Whose Line Is It Anyway? And back in the 90s, there was a blooper where someone was falling asleep behind the host, and so one of the improvisers, called Ryan Stiles, just turned around and just went, "Give him liquor! Give him liquor!" Should we do the same? No, tell you what we should do. Let's give Starbucks some Starbucks! Although I feel like that's the joke you were trying to go for there, so...
Don't forget check the profile.
Yeah. Hi. Defendant in this case, he was a Hat 2 crew member and a mentor to the victim. You're at 33. You're actually goddamn no younger. Clay's gone and I'm going to prison. I wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. What is it? What's with the yelling? I'll get a bond with this today. You'll see. In exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay. Promise? Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove my innocence? Oh,
His work with other people pronunciation.
Is Clayteran. 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 No. Solomon Starbuck. Solomon Starbuck. Solomon Starbuck. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't. We didn't get to investigate the area as much as I'd liked, thanks to the police. I'm done for. I'm a goner. Everyone thinks I did it. All gonna soar like a comet, but I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite. No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't you count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you've gotta keep going. What about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend?
SpongeBob the Squidward and Mini Squidward.
I can't lie, and please don't kill me for this. I've never watched SpongeBob. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But right now we need to focus on the trial, okay? Are you all ready to go? Because I'm not, because I feel upset that I've never watched SpongeBob, and I need to watch SpongeBob, even though I can do a pretty damn good SpongeBob voice.
I am Mr. Krabs. Yeah! I'm Eddie. Promotion. I'm gonna go make some Krabby Patties. Yeah!
Apollo? The trial is about to begin. The defense would please proceed into the courtroom. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is one trial I can't afford to lose. For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer. December 16th, 9:55 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Day 1, court is now in session. All rise. Did I also just see a bandage for Apollo already? Court is now in session for Charlie Solomon Starbuck. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Excuse me, Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor? What happened to your eye? I was just thinking the same thing, goddammit. I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. No, that doesn't matter, Apollo. What happened to you? Your boy needs to know. Did someone attack you?
Case 1.
Did someone attack you up? I don't care at the minute. I need to know what happened to my boy Apollo. I've only had 1 game with him. Now coming up on 2 games, but I don't care. I need to know what happened to my boy because after the Apollo Justice game, and now this, I adore Apollo. I mean, this is the Apollo Justice Trilogy, to be fair, but my boy, what happened to you?
It's Clay Bandana.
What? What do you mean, Clay? No! Clay don't have no bandana, goddamn. Are you sure? I don't... I said I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. She keeps insisting it's just a sty. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy stage. I mean, after everything that she's been through, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he has had to reinstate his mentor as a lawyer and prove him innocent. I was going to say, the minute he can't use his power, he did have to find his client innocent for a crime that he didn't commit 7 years ago, and now his best friend's died. And also his mentor in the first case was also a murderer. So then he was left out of job, and all sorts of things have happened to this man, so he possibly is entering his touchy stage at this point. I think his best friend being murdered was just the tip of the iceberg, shall we say. But very well, either way. And the prosecution? Prosecution appears to be ready as well. Ah, back in these fabled shackles. Oh, what else am I going to do with my life? Still, might as well do my job, I suppose. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Yeah. Huh? Trilogy doesn't happen until trial day 2. No? It's the Bond transport case. I recognize that. The prosecution is now ready. Well, it didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackwell? Now then, I shall give the opening statement. Okay. I'll do it. You will. What an unexpected surprise. This time I can't leave it to anyone else. Okay. Blackwell. I think Blackwell has also got quite a big stake in this case. I'm intrigued. Why would you, of all people, have a stake in this case? Sadly this isn't Harry Potter. However, if there was an Ace Attorney Harry Potter crossover, that would be interesting. Trying to defend Sirius Black in court, well. This time I can't leave it to anyone else. I see. Something is off with the two of you today. I was going to say, you both seem different somehow. I mean, clearly something was off with Apollo, that was obvious, but Blackwell? I mean, I get Apollo because Clay Tarrant is his best friend, but Blackwell? Well, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement if you would. It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. That famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right? Astronomy, it's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket to the launch site, two explosive devices were detonated and the launch was cancelled. My word, 2 bombs? How dreadful. The defendant in today's trial is charged with the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck, for whatever inane reason.
With Athena and Moon.
What moon? And why is Blackwell connected to Athena? I mean, the moon? Why would it be? What? Are we in 1969, and this is the Cold War and the Space War, and are we up against Russia to get to the moon first? Is that what Dual Destinies is? Is that the underlying case? Is that what the Dark Age of the Law is? I get it now, the Dark Age of the Law is communism. Or in the words of Cluedo the movie / Clue the movie starring Tim Curry, don't worry darling, communism is just a red herring. Solomon Starbuck? I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut?
Is friend with Athena Mom.
How? And as I say, no spoilers, because we don't know that yet. If that is true. I mean, to be fair, you could also just be lying to me, but I don't... Yeah. Correct your boldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the Hat 1 rocket 7 years ago. 7 years ago! That was 7 years ago. It was me, all along! Zack Grammy! No, Valent Grammy! I'm back from jail! Hi, Uncle... Hi, Uncle Val! How you doing, Uncle Val?
Spoiled it.
I mean, yeah, I guess. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? He even turned that incident into a movie and everything. Got a real space pioneer in court today. But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand. Yes, the victim was one Mr. Clay Terran, as an alternate to the defendant. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing? Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant, and so he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see. Clay. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there's one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. What purpose does it serve exactly? Since you ask so nicely, it's your coffin. Have mercy on me! I jest. Ha ha. I know. I'm hilarious. No, it's evidence. I'm sorry.
DA bomb.
Due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. I was gonna say, this is the bomb case from the first trial. The detonates. We shall get the contents of the box in due time. But no, we shall not, because it actually contains a dead body. But no one knows about the dead body yet. Phew, I feel like I lost 50 years off my life. Does he even have 50 years left? Animal log, Athena. Animal log. Enough jabbering. Bobby Fulbright's the name. Justice we trust. Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well, then please explain the details of this incident to the court, if you would. Honey, first take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Here we are. For a more detailed look on what's on the left side of this building, take a look at this cross-section that we, the police, have created. See the launch pad in the main building? The launch pad is a square building, and the rounded structure is the main building. Oh, the launch pad is a square building, and the rounded structure is the main building, right? You got it. The incidents took place in launch pad 1, the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. Details of the case. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! Upper level, ladder, middle level, elevator, lower level, launch pad 1 corridor, the lounge, and all that jazz. Very nice. One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building, and one launch pad 1. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in launch pad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But out to escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. A bird on the top of a bombing. Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at lounge, correct? Yep, Fingley sabotaged the bomb and the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo. Oh my, is that a knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor, it's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. Hello, to another person watching. How are you doing today? Hopefully it's a little bit warmer wherever you are than the UK at the minute, but there you go. We couldn't get any prints off of it, though we because the defender was in his spacesuit. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photo? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. He had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity after all. Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a facial fingerprints. Now, there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case. I see. So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was launch pad 1 located? that one was on the rocket itself. It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently the area around the launch pad's elevator was a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram report to the record. Okay. Charles just done it. We're already in a bind. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? What the two astronauts were doing during the bombing. That'll be the key. I love the fact that the actual thing has changed because of the eye patch.
Hold it!
How powerful are the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. It was burned black, and thankfully nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, what are you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. I go to the other side of the world or even the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is. But I guess I'll leave that one alone.
All of this, case 1-5 happened around 6 months.
What? Sorry, what? This entire game happens within the span of 6 months? Jesus Christ. Well, this and case 1 happens within days of each other, because this happens, then the bombing case in case 1, I'm assuming, and then, well, I don't know what else happens. Well, I don't know what happens in 5, so I can't say when, but, you know, by some sense. God damn it. Admirable decision, Justice Dono. Huh? What do you decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like in the space center at that time? Bomb killed the pirates, this central... I read the wrong person. Anyway, could you describe what it was like in the space center at the time? Bomb killed the pirates, the central bank of elevators, and the 3rd floor lounge. It was pitch black in there, I tell you. How the security cameras and whatnot were running an emergency backup. How's the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked people down to the space center's basement shelter. Basement shelter? Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the space center. Emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. Space center's pretty impressive to have its own shelter. The power outage evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. Guess I'll leave that aside for now. So there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Yep, that's right. Wait.
PTW, you can voice Fulbright with any voice the reason in case 5.
Well, I don't care, because I'm gonna keep my voice. It's okay. Do 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 Oh, I love this music. I need to stop this man. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going to board with explosives. Huh? What are you talking about? If the defender really did plant the bomb in his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. Astrophobia? What's that? A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop his launch at the last minute. That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. What are they? These anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently he's taken them in secret to quell his fears. There are a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumor has it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was, of course, very traumatic. Oh, do I want to know? Oh no.
Objection!
Is everything okay? But that doesn't mean he'd go so far as to blow his own ship, blow up his own ship.
Being airstrike by it.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, God. I give up on the world now. I really do. I give up on the world. I do. I just do. The defendant couldn't bear to mar his own good name now, could he? No, not after the media had branded him Sol Starbuck, space pioneer extraordinaire. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt. That's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Naturally. He constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the space center, which would effectively abort the launch, but spare his reputation. Oh, would you look at that? It's raining. Now I'm sure you understand why we had to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal. Oh, it looks like it's raining pretty heavily. Are you sure it was only the two of them? It's just...
People think anti-Semitic only applies to Jew. In reality, it applies to all Middle East race.
Fair. Screw anyone who's anti-Semitic, man. Screw them all. Dicks. That's why I say dicks. It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those two. Well, there could have been somebody else in that side of that rocket. The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. Allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? It sounds as futuristic as plus complex as Space Center. Yeah, I can say that to America. Because realistically, I think everyone knows at this point, Americans are stupid, dumb, and are all dicks. And I know I'm gonna get a whole ton of hate when people find this video. I don't care. Actually, it's not as me. Well, okay. Granted, not everyone are stupid, and not everyone in America are dicks. I rescind that. But you get the point. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think you are. Take a look at this photo. This is a door in the lounge with a fingerprint lock. Only a person whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. It's very different from what I had in mind. And there's a record of the number of people that passed through that door yesterday. Yeah, there were only 3, the defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Now that's funny, because it's Cosmos. Then does that mean it's possible the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded 9:28, doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then.
Hold it!
So while it would appear that the pair barely escaped their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket.
Fun fact, Rafa is the size of airport.
Oh! I can't lie, what is Rafa? Or are you talking about like the RAF? The Royal Air Force stuff? That's saying the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it. In fact, that's what they've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Tarrant could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at boarding time and bought into their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue.
The place in Gaza called Rafa, it's at border with Egypt.
Ah, fair enough, fair enough. But after the escape, one of the two men stabbed to death. And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were 2 of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm. Oh my god, I've just realized the pun. Say not like that, I've just realized the pun in Candace Arm's name. She's a bomb expert, so she can disarm. She can disarm bombs. Candace Arm. Oh my god. One of them was a detective? Yep, Detective R specialized in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant. 2 witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective? I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. The victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is true, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little I could get out of him only hurt my case. Justice Dono, foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera. As the 2 astronauts emerged from the bowels of the Launch Pad 1 corridor. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Now, I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering, which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. What? Order, I say. It is not exactly what the prosecution should be asserting. I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Apollo? How exactly did they determine the clay was already gone in that footage? I see what you mean. Where the clay was still alive at this point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Terran was still alive here and Mr. Starbuck was helping him?
Why, I believe you're right. One man carried the other to safety. Oh, what a beautiful expression of friendship.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead and a dotard. But it only makes sense if the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Fulbright, explain it to Justice Dono. You got it, ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone could enter the lounge after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship, that's a horse of a different color. But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All the video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based on your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple, but you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive. I guess.
Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic.
But it sounded perfectly logical to me.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close.
Objections? Well, Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup.
Well, given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need.
What is it, Athena? It's just something that's been bothering me.
It isn't the defense stalling for time as always. Very well, I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time.
Yes!
You have 5 seconds.
5 seconds?
After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and a verdict to be rendered. Your boldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh! Ready?
We don't have time. Spin out, Athena.
Only 3 more seconds. Only 3 more seconds.
Look, I know the prosecution explanation is very complete. Meaning there's something missing. Like they conveniently left it unexplained. Something they didn't explain. Yeah, you're right. I think I know what you're talking about.
Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is, and I'm still, as the reader and player, not sure what it is. There's something the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court.
Well, if you put it that way, what is it the prosecution has failed to explain?
Why the body was moved. They failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge?
Oh, well, that's true. I don't think the prosecution's thought on that yet.
That's because they have done, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? Hello? Again. Maybe it's the same person, maybe it's not. I don't know. The prosecution is claiming the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But one of the entire premise of that argument is wrong.
Now let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice.
The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim. He was helping him.
Yeah.
Fulbright, explain it to our sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim. Huh? You gotta be joking. Hang on a second. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to leave it off here for today. I know it's only been a bit of a shorter episode, and we haven't really gone very far, but it's got to be a bit of a shorter episode today. Unfortunately, I have plans. Fortunately and unfortunately, but there we go. But yeah, I'm gonna obviously come back tomorrow, and yeah. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help. Click the bell icon down below to be notified when a live stream or upload video. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!